Hi guys, this is Yuri from the Chico Eats, and today I want to talk to you about the bad kid on the block in nutrition, which is cholesterol. And we all know that cholesterol isn't good for us, so we try to not eat as much red meat and egg and shellfish, right? Right? So what do we actually know why it is bad for us and how it works in our bodies? So I want to look into what is cholesterol, and what does it do? B, two, how does it actually get into our bodies? And three, what does nutrition have to do with it? So if we start with one, what is cholesterol? Cholesterol is actually really important for our bodies. We need it to help regulate hormones and vitamin D and also build up the cell membrane, which protects whatever is in the individual cells. And cholesterol can't travel through our body freely on its own. It needs little transporters called LDL and HDL, which you might have heard of if you have a cholesterol problem or you have had blood work done recently. So how does cholesterol then get into body? So we come to our question number 2. Cholesterol is so important that our body is actually able to produce it on its own. It's mainly produced by the liver, and the liver can make cholesterol out of protein, out of meats, but also out of carbohydrates and fats. So that means if you're vegan, doesn't mean you can't have high cholesterol, and on the other hand, if you already have high cholesterol, cutting down on your meat doesn't necessarily mean that your cholesterol will go down. So we need cholesterol, it's good for us, we can produce this on our own. So far sounds good, right? So why does it have a bad reputation? And there are actually 2 very different theories out there, and today I'll talk about the one that is most prevailing in the medical world, which is that high cholesterol can lead to heart attack and stroke. So we said we produce the cholesterol. How can there ever be such a thing as too much cholesterol? So the theory is that we produce already the cholesterol we need, but if we eat a lot of trans fats, a lot of processed foods, our liver gets stimulated to produce more cholesterol than we actually need. So that has nowhere to dock, no cells to dock on, and instead it sits in the membranes of the arteries. So slowly there'll be a buildup of plaque in the artery wall, which eventually can lead to the whole artery being clogged, which then of course leads to heart attack or stroke. So what can we actually do about this? How can we help the body to not create this extra cholesterol and to not clog up the arteries? Number 1 is the obvious, to eat less processed food and to eat less trans fat. That is a difficult change to make, and it will gradually happen. In the meantime, we can help the body out with extra vitamin E, which is an anti-blood clotter. You can find vitamin E in spinach, in broccoli, and fish, and nuts and seeds and pumpkins. So really embracing a whole food diet. Now, as I mentioned before, there's a very different theory on high cholesterol in our body, which we will cover another time. But for now, to sum up this quick talk, our body creates cholesterol. We need the cholesterol for hormones, for vitamin D, for cell membranes. And it gets transported through the blood by LDL and HDL. If we have a lot of trans fat and processed food in our diet, we will create more cholesterol than we actually need. This still gets transported through the body and gradually builds up the plaque in the arteries, which will then eventually lead to heart attack and stroke. That doesn't sound very pleasant, right? So we'll cover the other theory on high cholesterol the next time, and until then, eat healthy and be happy!